when you are just being yourself and you come across as a little bit mysterious, even though you're not really trying to be, a lot of people are going to misunderstand you. But I don't think we need to be focused on why they're misunderstanding you or trying to seek out some kind of weird validation and, ooh, I'm mysterious. Like, that can be a pipe dream to some people. However, it is definitely the case and absolutely possible and plausible that just being authentic will be like a bright light illuminating the darkness, so much so that the darkness cannot even handle it. Like, the people that are still in the darkness, they are in the shadow kingdom, the shadow realm. They have demons within them and within inside them that they hunger for more darkness. They hunger for devouring the light. But if you are truly authentic, you're going to have a light so pure emanating from your being that the eternal splendor of God is going to pierce through the darkness, and there's going to be nothing that they can do about it. They can't eat the darkness if you are truly with God, and they cannot eat the darkness and devour the darkness if you are truly having the light inside yourself, because as the Bible says, they may be able to break our flesh down. They may be able to do things to our flesh, but to our spirit, your spirit, there is a garden, a beautiful garden. And I do this meditation with sometimes with people in my one-on-one consultations and mentorships, is the garden of your mind. But there's a garden in your soul that cannot be played with or devoured by any enemy anywhere. That is, if you have the courage to stand up for the light within it. And I also want to read a little bit from Romans today. This is Romans chapter 12, verse 9 through 13. It says, "Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit and serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality." Well, what exactly does this have to do with the topic? Well, because if somebody is going to be out there trying to figure you out, and you are mysterious to this person, this is how you can treat this person with proper intentions, with good intentions, so that there can actually be something that blossoms from this. Many people that are on the path, they are to a point where they're starting to realize like the differentiating factors and the dimensions of the life that they're living. We just had somebody that is newer to the Regal Change Academy group that we have, and this person posted in the community how there are certain things that are just opening up to them, like new ways of looking at the world that seems like it's not like it's too much, but it's almost like it's just so vastly different from everything that you've seen before that you don't know exactly what to do with it. You don't know how to handle it. And this is like, these verses right here are going to be a good way to be the antidote for that. Well, so let love be without dissimulation. Well, what exactly does that mean? It means there's a concealment, right? There's like a concealing of your love. When you love someone or love something, you don't conceal from that person if you truly love them, because to love somebody is to also give them the truth. And remember, truth is an experience. Okay, that is something that I think also many people misunderstand about the truth. I hear a lot of people in the New Agers and whatnot, they'll say, oh, it's my truth. This is my truth. "Oh, that's your truth, though. That's not my truth." It's like, no, 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 no. There is the truth, and then there are falsehoods. There is no my truth or your truth. There may be truth in perspectives or matters of experience. Like you may be experiencing, it may be a fact that you have an emotion about an experience, but that doesn't mean that the emotion is, because the emotion is part of the experience, but it doesn't always mean that the emotion is right. But it doesn't mean the emotion is wrong either. And this is why a lot of people, like there's going to be someone out there that is watching you, that is trying to understand you, that cannot understand what they don't understand, but it's going to grip them. Sometimes people will do one of two things. This will cause people to revere you and to respect you, or it will cause people to really try to destroy you. I get a lot of love and a lot of hate wherever I go nowadays. It just is what it is. And it's so fascinating because strangers to me have been way more helpful than anyone from my past ever was. Seriously, like the people from my past, now to be fair, like I gave them a lot of my own power. So I have to take responsibility and accountability for that. But I was choosing to love somebody in a way that, number one, they couldn't receive. And number two, I didn't really have the quality and the capacity to give the kind of love I wanted to this person because I didn't love myself at the time. I didn't really know who I was. I didn't really understand what exactly I was about. But it's important to stay focused on the optimistic. Like I'm relentlessly optimistic in this day and age of my life because God is blessing me in so many different ways. Like words kind of escape me, and I think in a way my vocabulary is poverty stricken trying to describe this because life is such a beautiful thing. And when you just are who you are and you're able to live life on your own terms, true freedom, when you have true freedom, you may not have everything in the world, but man, you've got true freedom. I mean, my goodness gracious, there's no feeling like true freedom. And I understand how you can get to a point where the savageness of life is too much to bear sometimes. Life can be a true psychopath. like life really is a B word sometimes, right? Like life really is a biatch. Okay. And I want to be more, it's not like I don't care about cussing really, because I differentiate between cussing and cursing. Cussing is just saying those words that are not necessarily foul, but not necessarily good either. Because sometimes they're just, words are just words. But other times, at the same time, those words still carry a meaning. And I want to make sure that I suppose, not allowing myself to revert back to my old ways. Because I used to think that, well, I came from a rough background and I came from a place where, that kind of vocabulary was tolerated and, that was accepted. And I didn't come from like the ghetto, okay? But I didn't come from like the best place either. We weren't really well off, but we weren't, entirely broke either. It wasn't until I was in high school with my family that we were more able to live with more means, right? And because I remember going to the food pantry and such, and I remember going to all of these like free food events during the summer for kids in the family. Like we had these like free hot dog days at the park during the summer. And it was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we never went without a meal usually. Like my parents, bless their souls, I'm not in contact with them anymore, but they were just people that they did what they could physically. They were pretty absent emotionally and spiritually, but physically they were there. And that was enough, at least for me at the time, to get to where I need to be. And I don't want to dishonor them, but at the same time, I want to be truthful about the situation, because eventually through time, they couldn't figure me out. And I learned pretty dang quickly that blood can sometimes not mean family. Like, just because they're your blood doesn't mean they're family, man. Sometimes that means that they are really trying to poke and prod, and they're going to use information against you in any way, shape, and form that they can, because they don't understand you. And it's like, I'm trying to help you understand. But sometimes you just have to set proper boundaries, and unfortunately, like, things just escalated to the point to where sometimes you just have to forgive and move on. And this really goes in line with the verses, right? Cleave to that which is good. Okay, cleave to the goodness. Cleave to the good. This doesn't mean that you have to completely cast out the terrors of the past, per se, right? This doesn't mean that you have to relinquish the lessons that you've learned from the past. But what it does mean is that you have to remember those lessons, but live in the present and strive for the future. Okay? Now, in honor, preferring one another, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, and serving the Lord. You ever notice that the people that are most slothful in business are usually the ones that demand the most, or entitled to the most? They think they are. Like, they think that they're entitled to the most things, the people that are laziest. That's what's crazy, but then you have people that are hardworking. Like, I've seen some crazy things happen. I used to work at this place where this boss of mine, who was a good boss, good supervisor. I don't like calling people bosses, but supervisor. He was a good supervisor. And we had somebody new in, like, the head of the corporate that came in, and this was a woman. And literally within weeks, half of the department was gone. And guess what? All of the men were. They were all the hot, hyped, top performing men, including this supervisor of mine. This supervisor, he just did he did everything that he needed to do. He was not lazy in business. He was fervent in his spirit. It was probably the most godly supervisor I've ever had. Granted, it was only for a short time, but still, like, this was the man that he just did his job, and he made sure the people were taken care of. He was a good supervisor, and they let him go. They fired him. He just got a call one day, and on Friday night, or Friday evening rather, said, "Oh, by the way, this is your last day." And then I got a call like that a few weeks later, after they told me that I was the shining star example of what someone in my position at the job would be doing. So, like, when it comes to the workplace, people will try to cut the competition sometimes. They will. But I'm not that kind of person, because I know that there's plenty of pieces to the pie out there. There's plenty of pie for everybody to eat. We've got enough for everybody. But it's a matter of, do you want to do what it takes to get to that pie, right? Do you want to do what it takes? Because otherwise, this is another reason why people will try to be determined to misunderstand you. Here's another thing, right? I just thought about this. Some people are more inclined to be participants of injustice and purposefully misunderstand you so that they can ruin your reputation, over trying to misunderstand you and leading with compassion and kindness. Because, well, why? They don't want to serve the Lord. At the end of the day, that's what they just don't want to do. They don't want to serve the Lord. They don't want to rejoice in hope. They don't want to be patient in tribulations. Okay, they don't want to be in constant, instant prayer. Okay, they don't want to do those things. Those kinds of people, even though some of those people are like high up, like in companies and whatnot, etc., like these people, they they're actually lower in spirit. And I don't see anybody above me or below me, really, except for God Himself, who's above me. And I don't see anybody else. Like, I see everybody as people. I'm commanded by God to love one another. And I want to share that love. I do. I actually want to. Because it's like, when I say I'm commanded to love, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm commanded to love. It's like, I know I'm commanded to love. This is actually a blessing to be able to realize that this is a commandment. And the more that this is something else, right? Man, I'm having so many random thoughts. I hope everybody's following along closely because it may seem a little bit open, but at the same time, it all ties together. We're going to wrap a bow on it. But, oh shoot, where was I going with this? You guys just witnessed a Thaddeus brain fart for a second. I was trying to explain certain things. But anyway, the point is that these people don't want to stay steadfast in serving God. That's what it was. Yeah, they don't want to be steadfast in serving God. They want to serve themselves. These are people that are idolizing themselves, and they don't have any kind of true inclination to want to share love and want to. That's what I was talking about as well. Commandments. So being commanded to love is actually a beautiful thing, and the more that you follow the commandments of God, the more you realize that this is your natural being. Like, just being like the fruits of the Holy Spirit are who you are. That's who you really are. That's your nature, right? And we talked a little bit about this in the Regal Change Academy group that we have, but seriously though, it's so profound to see this kind of stuff, and it's so profound to live a life that is actually true to you. And it's not your truth, but it's the truth, and it is true to you. It's a matter of this and that. Okay? So with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. Man, we went through a lot of different things in that 17 minutes, but man, what a fun ride. I hope that everybody has a blessed day. If you do want to join the Regal Change Academy group, we do have the free 15-minute calls if you want to see what it's about and just get a little more inclined to seeing what's involved with it. You can check out the link in the description box below to sign up for that. And then if you want to participate in a one-to-one mentorship call, I'm doing two types of those calls right now. I'm doing a general one-to-one and then the Godlike Mastery Initiation. The Godlike Mastery Initiation is going to be more for people that actually have the funds, the time, and the resources to do this kind of a thing, okay? It's going to be a complete life overhaul. So definitely people that are just wanting like a general one-to-one, the Godlike Mastery Initiation is not for you, okay? I've had a few people ask me about it, and then they're like, oh, okay, this is way more than I thought. It's like, yeah, this is the real deal right here. This is not just a general thing. This is a true, committed, responsible, disciplined duration of growth that we're going to be doing with you. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in, dropping a like or a comment, subscription, a follow. That's really the best way to help support as well. And I do want to say from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate everybody that has been so supportive recently. You're always going to have haters. I know that. But the amount of love that I've been getting over the past couple weeks, it truly is a blessing. And I just feel so honored and blessed to be in this position. And glory be to Jesus Christ. Thank you, Lord. And with all that being said, peace be with you. Until next time.